Welcome to Profit Guru and welcome back to our series on Amazon wholesale bundling. This is the third video in that series. I'm Cassandra Barney and I'm a full-time Amazon seller. If you missed the first two videos in the series, I'm going to link that right above and it will take you right to the playlist so that you can catch up. In this video, we're really going to start diving into the research end. You don't just want to start randomly choosing brands to work with. So how do you know which brands like to work with Amazon sellers? And how do you know which brands perform well on Amazon? So that's what we're going to cover right now. So we want to find brands that we know that the brands are allowing their products to be sold on Amazon, because not all brands allow that. So to do that, the best place to come is to Profit Guru and to go to the Brands tab. Right up at the top right here, there are filters that you can set. And if you want to get really picky and define them really well, you can come here to the advanced filters. So when I'm looking for wholesale brands to sell, I don't want to limit myself. So I'm not going to be too specific with my filters because I want to see a lot of options. So right here, one of the most important things to do is to go to the number of products. You want to see brands that have a good volume of products that they're selling on Amazon. So you could come and you could limit that to 100 or 200. So I'll just put in 100. So these brands that are going to come up, I know that they have at least 100 products that are selling on Amazon. That's going to tell me that they're probably a brand that will work with me and allow me to purchase from them. We can also come right here if we know the specific category that we want to sell in and filter that. So some great ones to think about are categories that are not going to narrow down your audience. For example, lots of people have homes, lots of people have kitchens that they cook in. So that could be a good category. Lots of people have pets, so maybe we want to do a bundle with some pet supplies. Let's just click on the pet supplies and we'll run this search. So that means that all of these brand names here should be selling pet supply items. If I go down to the bottom, I can see that there are over 7,000 entries of brands. Now, what I want to look at is number of products and the number of sellers. I want to make sure that this brand has volume and that there's sellers on it. So if there's a lot of sellers on it, then that tells me that they're probably open to working with me as well if they have other sellers of their brand on Amazon already. So I could come here and I could hit the arrow. Maybe I want to see the brands that have the most products. Hit it again. And now I can see that this brand has 1 million products on Amazon. The average number of sellers, they only have one person selling though. So maybe I wanted to see the brands that have a lot of sellers. I could do the same thing. I'm going to click it again. Now this brand right here, they have 1,689 products and the average number of sellers per listing, 27. So that tells me that this is a brand that has a lot and they like to work with Amazon sellers. So if I run through this list, I can see that there are quite a few brands that have both a large number of products as well as sellers. So the Sea Dog here, I've never heard of that brand before, but I can see that the average product rating is nearly almost 5 stars. So they have good products. The average product price is $35, and that's great. We don't want to sell things that are super cheap. If we're selling things that are under $12, $15, less than that, there's really not going to be any profits in our pocket in the end once our cost of goods and our fees are all taken out. So I like that price point. I also like that their average product weight is less than 3 pounds. The smaller, the lighter the items, the better for us because that's going to be less we pay in shipping. The same for this brand. That looks great. The product rating, 4.5 stars, $24.46 for the average price, and even better, their average product weight is less than 2 pounds. So now I can click on one of the brand names and see if I can get some more info on them. So this brand here, I can see that the number of products sold by Amazon is only 16%. That's not very high, which the Amazon competition isn't going to specifically matter for us anyways, because we're not just jumping onto a listing. We're going to be developing our own bundle and developing our own listing. So that's not really a huge concern. So what I could do now at this point, I don't see their contact information for this one. So I would just go over to Google and run a search on this brand name, Sea Dog. So we'll do Sea Dog products. And then now I can come right to their website. It's saying here wholesale only, so that's perfect. We know we're going to be able to get these things for a good price. So this is the first spot that I come to when I'm looking for brands to make sure that I know the price point's good, their product quality is good. I know they have a lot of products, and I know that they have Amazon sellers, so they're probably going to want to open an account with me. Now let's talk about another way that you could find distributors. There are so many ways. So when people say, I don't know where to find these products from other than buying them at Walmart, what do I do? Well, this is a great way. But another way is to just look at the products. For example, I have this sunscreen here. On the back of it, if I look way down at the bottom, it says distributed by Greenbrier International. So you can look in the back of packaging and find who the distributor or manufacturer is, and then run your Google search on them. So that's a great tip for finding distributors. Take a product, look on the back, and find the information down at the bottom. Now, my last way that I go and find brands to work with is right on Google. So right here, I can search in wholesale distributors near me. And then now I'll just go through and see if I can find a good distributor. For example, wholesale dollar store supplier. Now, we obviously don't want to sell a bundle for $1, but we're going to be bundling these with other items. So even though we might be buying it for a cheap price around $1, that doesn't mean that we're going to be selling it at that price point. So let's go here and see what they have to offer. So we have Brillo brand, Jolly Rancher, we have some candy, Hostess. So Hostess, even though they have food products, I know that they don't just have food products. So that might be a brand we want to look into, because what we're doing is we want to find a brand that is a known brand. I'm not going to have to run PPC on my listing, because if someone searches the brand, they're going to have my listing pop up already. If I am choosing, though, a brand that is too big of a brand, that's where there could be an issue for you. So for example, I'm not going to want to be going to Nike. That is a really big brand. And then if I try to put a Nike item in my bundle, I'm definitely going to get an error code when I list my bundle. So you want to try and choose brands that are not too branded. So let's say, for example, we wanted to go with Hostess. We'll search up here and see what they have. So I can see they have different aluminum holders, birthday candles, different things like that. And right here we have a round cake pan. So that could be an idea. Maybe I buy this as my main item in my bundle, get it for a really cheap wholesale price, and then I find what products I should bundle this with. Another good thing to do to find the cheapest price possible is to go right to the brand. So this here, these are a distributor of the brand. So that means that they're going to be a middleman. This isn't Hostess, this is International Wholesale. So that means International Wholesale is buying from Hostess. They want to get a profit off of it. So they're going to raise the price a little bit to make the profit off of it. But if I go right to Hostess and see if they will open up a wholesale account with me directly, that's how I would get the bottom dollar price. Come right to Google, Hostess cupcakes. And then now right here, I can go right to their website. Usually the contact area is on the bottom. So right here, if I wanted to reach out to Hostess and ask them if they would be willing to open up an account with me directly, I could contact them right here. Now this is where I said before, do you need an LLC? Well, technically you don't need an LLC, but I am pretty sure that Hostess probably won't want to work with you if you are just somebody who is not a certified business. So this is where having an LLC definitely comes in your benefit. You are going to look like a professional business because you are a professional business. You are an LLC. So you are definitely going to have a better chance of opening up wholesale accounts directly with the brands if you have your business credentials. All right, so we covered how to find brands and how to use Profit Guru to know that these brands have a lot of items and that they're selling well. Now let's think about what research we need to do to find what we're going to bundle this item with. So we want to sell a cake pan, and now we need to do a little bit more research about that cake pan. What are they selling for? What should we put with it to solve a problem for our customer and increase the value for both them and ourselves, because we'll be increasing our profits. So I'm going to put in a Hostess cake pan. So here I can see a rectangular cake pan that pops up. Let's just click on this listing. It's going to give us a lot of insight. Okay, so I can see that this cake pan, the sell price right now is $11.87. Let's say that we are buying these for $1.50-ish from our distributor, but we also have to incorporate some shipping, right? Shipping to us and then shipping to Amazon. So we're going to put this at $2. And we'll calculate to see what the profits will be. Now, right there, you can see if I just sold this cake pan alone, nothing else with it, and I was getting it for an overall price of $2 with all of my fees in there for the shipping, I would only be getting a net profit after Amazon takes their cut of $1.86. That's really not a lot. And there's going to be other sellers that can jump onto this listing. So not only are you only making $1.86 each time one of these sells, but you're also not getting the sale every time one of these sells because you have to share that buy box with the other sellers. That's why the wholesale model of bundling is so powerful, because now I can put this with something else that a customer would want to use with this product. So something that makes sense, and it's going to increase my profits because that'll be less fees overall that I'm paying. And Profit Guru right now is coming up with a tool that will analyze this data for you. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We don't have it up and running yet, but it's in the process. It's going to, so if we put this cake pan on in Profit Guru, it would tell us frequently bought together items that would go with this pan. And it's going to exactly tell us and suggest to us the bundles that would have the most potential for us to develop and put together. So that's going to be a game changer for this model. Definitely be on the lookout for us to have that ready to go. But right now, while we're developing it, another way that you can think about different products to put with it to make it a bundle is to go down on the listing and look right here. This is telling us what customers are typically buying after they buy this product. So I can see some fondant, I can see some Wilton cake boards, set of 12 round cake boards. So that might be an idea to save the customer time. If I see a ton of customers are buying cake boards after they purchase this, wouldn't they rather just have to hit the buy button one time rather than have to find a cake pan and then find their cake boards? If I put those things together, that is saving them time and increasing value to them. So that could be an idea. Maybe I wanted something a little smaller, so I can go back to another listing and do the same thing. What are customers buying after they buy this product? Since ours is a round cake pan, I can come up here and put that in there. So I'm going to come and just click on one of the listings that's performing well. All right, we'll scroll down. Frequently bought together. So we can see the cake pan here. And then customers are also getting some gel food coloring as well as some bake even cake strips for evenly baked cakes. That definitely seems like a product that has a lot of potential if we put these things together. People who are baking, they're probably going to want their cakes to be baked evenly, and this is something that's light. So we could definitely put these two things together, and that's going to increase the value to the customer and make them want to go to our listing rather than just buying a cake pan on its own. But now there's something else we need to talk about. If our listing is performing well and another seller sees that, they can replicate what we're doing and jump onto our listing. Now we're going to have to share the buy box with them. So anybody could find these branded pans and these branded liners. What can I put in there that people can't find, that they can't replicate? This is where the branded item comes into play with this model. What that means is you want to put something in here and have it right in the front of the listing. That main image right here pops right up and shows it, and that's going to scare other sellers away. They're not going to have that item. They're not going to be able to replicate and produce it because it's your branded item. You created it. So what you have to do at this point is you have to figure out what would make sense to put with this. If I produce a keychain with my brand name on it, that makes no sense. How is that going to increase any value to the customer and make them want to buy it? It's not. A round cake pan with the liners to have a keychain, that makes zero logic. So this is where you have to dig a little deeper and say, if I was a customer getting this cake pan and getting my liners, what else would I like to see with it that's going to be like, oh yeah, that's good. I want this bundle. So since it's a cake pan, it could make sense if we include some cake recipes. So to do that, we need to print our own recipe cards that we are going to feature in the front of this listing. Somewhere we can do that is on Vistaprint. Maybe I want to search recipe card. And now right here, perfect. I can see little cards that I can completely customize. So if you have your own cake recipes that you know are good winners, put them on this cake card and print them yourself. Make sure that it is a card that people aren't going to be able to replicate. Maybe you don't know cake recipes. That's okay. Go to Pinterest. Pinterest is loaded with recipes. You could find so many recipes. So you could get 100 of these cards here starting at only $13.60. That is so cheap. Maybe you want to put 5 recipe cards per bundle. That is definitely going to have an increased value for the customer to have recipes come right with it. And people are not going to be able to replicate this. So those are the first steps in our research. Researching brands that are selling, researching products that are performing well, researching what can I put with them, and how can I put in that customized item to make it my own and no one else can jump onto this listing. Thanks for sticking with me to the end, and I hope that you were able to find a ton of value in this video and that you're confident now of which brands to start searching out to put into your wholesale bundles. On the next video, we're going to dig into the research even further. How do we know exactly which products we should be bundling together? How do we know what type of sales they're getting? What the competition looks like? What the trends are telling us? So the next video, we're really going to dig in even deeper into the research of our bundles. I'll see you then.